Hi, I'm Laura Gemmell and I'm here with World Vision New Zealand's Director of International Programming and Policy, Seth Le Leu. Seth, let's talk about West Africa. Obviously, East Africa has had its problems. It now seems to be encompassing the West. You've just returned from there. What was immediately obvious, if anything, to you?
Well, the timing of my visit was kind of crucial in the sense that I was there during the harvest season, which usually is a time of optimism. It's a time when there's food and it's the best time to visit. But I was seeing that this was a very short-term optimism. People were saying that within the next month, and that was in October, that the food would be run out. And you just think, how are they going to survive through the long months until September when the harvest comes again? You're just aware that there was an impending disaster on the horizon.
What gave you particular concern?
Yeah, I went to an African clinic. They're usually quite happy places. Mothers are sitting around, chewing the fat, talking about stuff, and their kids are there, and the kids scream when they get a needle, but they're generally happy places. I went to a clinic, there was hundreds of women there. There was an air of desperation, and they had very unwell little babies with them. You could tell this was not business as usual. This was a community that's hurting.
And that's already, when the next harvest is due until August, September, it could get a lot worse, I take it.
Well, it is. I mean, for instance, I met a mum who just had two new twins, beautiful little tiny specks of humanity. She came in because she's malnourished. She's got no milk. And I looked at these two little specks of humanity and thought, without some assistance, these children are not going to survive.
What's caused the poor harvest, and when can we expect the next harvest?
Look, it's to do with weather patterns, I think, as much as anything. You know, what's happened in East Africa, I believe, is spreading across to West Africa. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's been a bad harvest. They've had infestations of disease, of parasites in this, which have been eating the millet, which is their staple crop. It's just about 10% of the harvest that they need.
World Vision works in both Niger and Mali.
Yes.
What's being done specifically in those countries to alleviate the disaster?
Well, the thing which is very cool is that we are trying to do new things. And one of the very cool initiatives we have is working with the top agricultural scientists in the area. They're an international research agency, and they are helping us to actually establish new ways of growing market gardens, which will be a pilot, which will then be able to be rolled out across the country. It's using not a new technology for us, but a new technology for these places. And we believe that we can change the face of food security there.
Lastly, what can ordinary Kiwis do to help?
Well, this is the thing. We have our two responses. We have an emergency response, and we have our child sponsorship. The emergency response is really the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. You know, and that's when things are really gone wrong. The story that's come out of East Africa is that where we have our child sponsorship programs, our area development programs, we haven't lost one child in those areas, because over the years we've built strong, resilient communities. That's what we need to build in Niger and Mali. And it's the long, slow process of making communities strong, which means that we don't end up feeding starving children. And I don't like the starving children scenario. I'd rather make communities strong.
Thanks very much for your time, Seth.
It's a pleasure.